All right, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be talking about whether or not you should take out student loans. For those of you that already have student loans out there right now, at the end of this video I'm going to be talking about a few of the ways that you can take care of those student loans right now. If you're not paying on those yet, these are a few things to think about if you are also in college right now. So a little bit something for everybody. So number one, when you first ask yourself whether or not you should take out student loans, the first thing that you need to realize is that these loans are going to be with you from anywhere from 10 to 20 years. 10 to 20 years is how long some of these loans can affect you. And these are the terms that people really don't think about when they're first getting into college. They think that, hey, I'm going to get a great job and I'm just going to pay these things off so quickly. But very often life comes into play, and that is not the case. So if you're okay with taking a commitment like that, almost like buying a house, then I would say go ahead and take out those student loans if it is going to fit your lifestyle. However, for many people, it will not. So the first question that you really need to ask yourself as you're thinking about taking out student loans for your education is, when you get your first job out of college, how much can you realistically make at that job? And that's really going to be where you want to focus your attention, because very often people think that they're going to be able to make more at their job than they really are. And once they take out those student loans, they are really affected by that because they're not making what they thought they were going to make. So I would almost encourage you to estimate a little bit lower at this as you think about taking out those student loans, because most average debt per person in America is $37,000 per person. Now, some of you out there know people where you're like, oh, $37,000, that would be great if I only had $37,000 worth of debt. This is only an average. Of course, you have those people that have way more than $37,000 worth of debt right now. The other part of that with looking about how much debt you're going to take per person is to think about what you can actually make for payments every single month, what that is going to look like with whatever your job makes afterwards. And that's what you really need to start thinking about now. You need to think about what that is going to mean for you. So it's not for everybody. So there's many other options out there. There's community colleges. There's different work programs where you can get a technical skill, and that may do just fine for you, especially if that's kind of what you want to do anyway. A lot of these jobs don't require very high level degrees. And if they do require some sort of high level degree, a lot of times you can knock it out at a community college for the first 2 years at least before you have to go on and get that higher education and take on some of those loan requirements. So when you are thinking about taking out student loans, there's two different types of loans that you need to understand. The first one is a subsidized loan. So subsidized loan means that you are going to be paying interest on that loan after you graduate from college. So most of the loans out there, you pay on them 6 months after you get out of college. So you wouldn't start getting any interest on those loans till that time, which is a pretty good deal. Now there's the other side of that, unsubsidized loans, and this is usually for graduate and professional levels where you cannot get those unsubsidized loans anymore, and those loans are going to start accruing interest as soon as you take them out. So if you're in school for 2 or 3 or 4 years and you're not paying on them, you're going to be accruing that interest the entire time. What your interest rates can look like, obviously some of them can be better and some of them can be worse than this, but for your subsidized loans, usually you're going to be at right around 5.05% for those loans. Now, like I said, obviously that number can change. For your unsubsidized loans, you're going to be at a higher percentage rate. So this is kind of like a range, right? Depending on what kind you take out. So you can be at anywhere from 6.6 to 7.6% on those loans, and you're accruing that interest right away. I mean, these amounts are way higher than you would have for a car loan. This is way higher than you would have for a house loan. You're just piling on that debt. Now, if you do go out and you take these loans out and you decide that this is best for you, that you're going to have a high-paying job that can pay these loans off afterwards, you still need to figure out what your amount of debt is going to be. So you need to figure out what all of that debt is going to look like. Don't figure it out afterwards, after you have $100,000 worth of debt that just seemed to accrue little by little over those 4 years. Figure it out now so you have a little bit of a plan when you get out so you can actually pay that debt off. But if you do have this debt and you are paying a large amount, or maybe you're in deferment right now, or maybe you're a graduate professional and you don't have to pay in those loans until you get out, but you are accruing that interest, I encourage you to, first off, even if you're in graduate school, pay on that interest while you're in school. So if you pay nothing else, just pay the interest, because if you do not, you're going to be having compound interest affecting you like crazy. So if you have a $10,000 loan and you're paying 6% on that, as you get 6% on that $10,000 loan for the first year, you're going to be getting another 6% the next year on that interest, and it's just going to be compounding. So if you at least pay that interest, you won't have that compounding working against you. So another thing for this, if you already do have loans, is when you get out of college, continue that college lifestyle. Don't go out there and buy the newest car, the newest house. Continue that college lifestyle and just pay towards that debt as much as you can. You know how to live that college lifestyle. You were there for 4 years or longer. Go ahead and keep that up for a few more years and try to pay that debt off so you're not working for 10 or 20 years to get that off your shoulder. There's also a ton of jobs out there that will actually forgive your debt. If you look for that and you can find a company that's willing to forgive some or part of your debt for working there, not only are you going to be able to pay it off using your paycheck every single month that you make, but then also maybe you can get a portion of that paid off by your company. So look for those opportunities that are out there. And then another huge one, which may seem obvious, is don't get into more debt. Do whatever you can to stay out of more debt while you're paying this off, because you don't want to be paying interest to those loan companies for years and years to come. So every single person is going to have a different situation, something different that they're looking to accomplish by going to school. And you may look at it and you may realize that, hey, maybe this is not the right option for me at this time. Maybe I need to go out there and do some other things before I want to take out this high amount of loan, or maybe a community college is what's going to work for me. So these are just a few things to think about as you decide whether or not you should take out student loan debt. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and like our channel. Till next time.